We will get to this a little bit later. So it's 7 o'clock. I'm going to call the meeting of Milton Plan Commission for November 24th, 2022 order. And the first item is the roll call. Abby.
I have been watching as folks joined and we have all members present.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Abby. Well, the next item is the approval of the minutes and the Plan Commission minutes of 11/10/20. I just thought that, okay, who made a motion?
Jen Murray.
Did some?
Jen Murray did.
Oh, well, Jen, okay, and then for the motion, and you seconded, Kurt?
Sure, I'll
Okay.
second.
Now, I noticed that, in a section who was present, I mean, John did join the meeting, so it sees that two places not present. So we change it out.
Yeah, I was going to mention that because I came late, but
What do you say, Abby?
Yeah, I usually,
Yeah, but you came.
I usually
right?
include in parentheses joined at and then the time. So we'll change that and remove him from members absent. Sorry about that.
well, that's okay.
Okay, okay. All right. Yes,
Sorry,
John, I read the minutes and I thought, wow, John was there. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Okay, all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? So the motion passes unanimously. But we have a short agenda. We can spend as much time as we like, right, on each of the items. So, well, the next item is the agenda item number 1. Specific implementation plan modification for sign design review. And it's putting Wisconsin cow at 8313 Murphy Drive. Daphne, you are up.
Yes, so I did want to correct something I put in the staff comments that said the signage is on the west. It's actually on the east side of the building. So when you're driving up Deming Way, you'll be able to see it. And so this is just Monk's Bar and Grill. They own this other business, Wiscow, as well. And so they're just kind of putting this sign also in using the same space that they have at Monk's and just adding on this kind of secondary business. So same kind of concept, but focusing on pizza and wings.
Well, any questions for Daphne or any other questions or comments? Yes, Kurt.
So I'm not opposed to this because it's a multi-tenant building anyway, and it's in a PDD. But I do worry a little bit about the precedent that, is it one business or is it two? Because if everyone just says, oh, I have a sub business, I get another sign, right? We generally think that each business gets one sign, but those are usually separate businesses separated by a wall or something.
Yeah, so I believe this is 2 separate businesses, but it's the same owner. So like the owner of Monk's, they also own Wiscow.
But it's a separate physical space?
I don't think so. I think it's in the same space.
Do we have the owner here or somebody from?
I'm a representative from J&B Signs. I'm Kevin Cook. I'm the sales rep for Wiscow and for Monk's.
Okay, Kevin, go ahead.
What they do is, like in Verona, Plover, and some other locations, they have a certain allocated space just for Wiscow. And one other correction on the agenda says it is a illuminated sign. It's actually a non-illuminated sign on the scope of work. On the top line, it says non-illuminated. But it's owned by the same ownership. Basically, they have their own separate area, like that entrance that you see in the diagram of the scope of work is the entrance for the carryout of the of Wiscow, where the front elevation, the north elevation, shows the front entrance for Monk's.
Okay.
I mean, it strikes me as like a food court in a sense, but it's still separate things. I have no problem with the sign. I think it's a fine idea, but
I just wanted to make sure.
I was just thinking that, you know, Wisconsin cow or Wiscow. And so Kevin, have you thought of different background, just, you know, sort of stand out? It looks a little bit as it does, as you can see it, right? Or you like it the way it is?
Are you talking about maybe putting it on a backer panel or something like that?
Yeah, or a different color scheme. When I looked at it, it didn't look, it looks a little bit dull, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's their
I mean,
trade
you want the people to, you know, look at that and say, hey, there's a Wisconsin cow, let's go and eat. So,
Right.
But Mr. Mayor, that may be their corporate logos and their corporate colors. And so I think if it meets all the requirements for the city, however the individuals want to design their own sign, I think is entirely up to them.
oh, of course. So is
So I
that,
would make a motion to approve this.
I'll second that. Oh, go ahead, John. Sorry.
Thank you. I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, so the motion has been made and it has been seconded. Any question or comments? So Kevin, this is how the corporate logo is and corporate colors and everything?
Yeah, that is their branding corporate trade dress that they use for every location. Right now, there's one
Okay.
currently up in Verona. We have
Okay.
one going up in Sun Prairie too.
Okay, makes sense. So if it's working, you know, don't change it. So that's fine.
Okay. thank
Okay,
you.
any other questions or comments?
This is Jen. I have no problem with it because it's on a different facade from the main door and entrance of Monk's, and it's also got, you know, it looks like a different business as it is because of the facade as well. It changes from brick to, is it stucco or eaves there? But yeah, I think it's fine.
Yeah, I'm happy to. I think it's okay. So if there's no more further questions or comments, all those in favor of the motion to approve the SIP modification for sign design review, Wiscow 8313 Murphy Drive, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Wow, motion passes unanimously. Okay, Kevin, you're all set.
Thank you very much.
We are on to item number. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
Item number
Thanksgiving.
2, specific implementation plan modification for sign design review, artist Reed 1350 Deming Way.
Yeah, so this is another monument sign. You guys might remember doing one a couple of months ago for the same business on Greenway. And so this is at basically the same building, but on the other side of the street, or you know, the other corner of the property that they have. And they'll be replacing this existing sign, which is in an easement. And you know, I've already worked with the company that's doing the sign to move it out of the easement. And so they'll be placing it right outside of the easement. I believe it used to be like right in here. And so other than that, there were no other issues with the signage here.
I think the new sign looks really good and it's out of the easement. You can't complain about that, right? So it looks pretty good. Any questions or comments? Okay, well, okay.
I'll make
I'll make
a
a motion
motion
to
to approve.
Okay, well, all right. So that could be second or first, doesn't matter. So either way. So any further questions or comments? I think it looks good. It's much more improved than what it was there. Okay, if there are no questions or comments, all those in favor of the motion to approve SIP modification for sign design review for artists Reed at 1350 Deming Way, say aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
Who seconded that
Anyone
motion, please?
opposed? So the motion.
Who seconded?
That was
Yeah.
Dan Ramsey.
I had
Elder Dan Ramsey.
Dan as making the motion.
Oh, okay. So then I second it. So, or anyone, yeah, that's fine. So that's good.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are on to our final item of the day, very important item. This is the draft City of Milton Comprehensive Plan 2020. Recommend the council set a public hearing for January 12th, 2020 at 7 p.m. So Abby, is that you're going to do something more before we do it, or just set the date and we give you a time, Abby? All right, whatever you want to do.
Okay, just a quick update. I included all of this in the memo in your packet. These are the changes that have been made to the document since the last version that was in your packet. If there are any questions about any of these items, we're happy to respond to them, but I'll leave it at that because it was included in your packet. There were some minor changes that Commissioner Paulson suggested earlier today, and I just wanted to quickly go through those because we now are recommending that we also incorporate those changes into the version that the council will review eventually. The first one being that we had some inconsistent language about parking regulations and whether we were going to be reducing parking regulations or whether we were going to be completely doing away with minimum parking requirements. And so we're suggesting, in order to have consistency throughout the document, this is a change to the transportation section, page 29. We're going to modify this to say reform Middleton's parking regulations by reducing and in some cases eliminating minimum parking requirements. So the text in red is what we're proposing to change, and it's just to make sure that the language is consistent throughout the document.
Okay, is that okay with everyone? Okay, does anybody have any objection to it? Okay, Abby, go ahead.
And the next change also from Commissioner Paulson is on page 19 in the land use section, and the text, I just realized I also have a typo that I need to fix. But the text that's in red, we would like to suggest changing to, rather than annually updating the city's parkland and park improvement fees, we would like to say regularly update. The reason for that is that we only annually update it for CPI or inflation. We don't do a full evaluation of park fees. That full evaluation takes a lot of work, and it really only happens like maybe once every 5 years. And the language about who pays the park fees was unclear. And so what we're proposing is that they are paid by developers and builders of new homes. And I think I should have had that text in red, so apologies for that. It's different depending on whether it's a multifamily development or if it's a platted neighborhood, where it basically depends on who's pulling the building permit. So we'd suggest that change. And then there was also some language in there that suggested that park fees would be used to pay for maintenance, and park fees are only intended to be used to pay for improvements, capital improvements to parklands. And then fees in lieu of are intended to pay for the cost of expanding parkland in the city. And so it's a clarification issue, just to make sure that it's clear that we're not paying for maintenance costs. And I think before it had some language about maintenance. So we're suggesting that change. And then the last item is from page 20 of the land use section. And it's under the action about revising the zoning ordinance and other relevant codes to promote the reduction of impervious surface areas in order to improve on-site water infiltration. We had some language included in that action about creating an impervious surface standard that would replace the lot coverage standard. And Commissioner Paulson is suggesting that that would be in conflict with our goals for infill development and more compact development. And as long as a new development can manage its stormwater on site, even if it's in a cistern below grade, that we shouldn't penalize them for covering more of the lot. And of course, you know, Middleton has some of the strictest stormwater management requirements. We have a very good Water Resources Management Commission that reviews this. And so Commissioner Paulson is suggesting that we remove that language. I did want to note that we have a significant number of actions related to ensuring that we're mitigating floods appropriately, potential future floods, and that we're managing stormwater appropriately. The document that you have in your packet included, I think, 17 pages of comments from the Water Resources Management Commission. And I believe that language that we're proposing to remove now was actually added after Water Resources reviewed the document. So I don't think that it's going to cause any heartache for removing it from this location, because we've really covered stormwater management pretty well throughout the document. So our recommendation with those changes incorporated is that the Plan Commission advise the Common Council to set a public hearing. The public hearing requires a 30-day notice, and we would like the public hearing to be held before the Plan Commission on Tuesday, January 12th at 7 p.m. We would also like another public hearing to be held before the Common Council, but we may not have a 30-day notice for that one, and it's not required. The reason that we're suggesting the Plan Commission advise the council to set the hearing is because all of the council members have had a chance to review the plan at this point in committee, because we've taken it to, I think, 14 or 15 committees now, and we made sure that every city council member was represented on at least one of those. But the council, if they felt like the scope of their comments had to be related only to that committee's role, we want to make sure that the council is comfortable enough with the document where it is to set the hearing. So I don't have anything else. This is our staff recommendation, and we're happy to answer any questions.
Abby,
Those were good comments. Yeah, go ahead, Kurt.
I was just going to say that'll be my motion then, as long as it's on the
Okay.
screen.
Okay.
So we don't have to
second
read it all again.
Yep.
I would
I'll
second that.
second that.
Yeah, I think the comments which you made, they were all really very relevant and appropriate, and yeah, I agree with those. So I must say that I read parts of the plan and didn't read quite that extensively, and we'll have a time to read them a little bit later as well. So any questions or comments either about the date or the time, or Abby's comments, or anything which you may have read which need to be changed and you want to suggest now? Wow. Okay, well, the motion has been seconded, and it looks like you are all ready for dinner. So all those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? So the motion passes unanimously. Well, folks, happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your families. Stay safe, stay well, and don't invite too many people. So need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay. Okay, I second it. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Have a great evening.
Happy
Thank
you.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Thank
Happy
you, Mayor.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy
And
Thanksgiving.
bye-bye. This is probably the